Zoom lenses are usually all about compromise. You get the convenience of having several different focal lengths in one lens, but you sacrifice things like the speed of the lens when it comes to the size of the aperture, the size of the lens itself, and sometimes even the image quality. This is a little bit different. It is the Sigma 28-45mm f1.8 DG DN Art, and when it was first announced in June 2024, it immediately stood out because it was the world's first full-frame zoom lens with a constant f1.8 aperture. It is meant to be the full-frame version of the famous Sigma 18-35 f1.8, which is an APS-C lens and incredibly popular and loved for its image quality. The f1.8 aperture is the kind of aperture that you normally only see on fast prime lenses, which makes this lens really interesting because in theory, this lens could replace something like a 28, 35 and 45mm prime, while still giving you the flexibility of a zoom lens. Now, of course, there are going to be a few trade-offs, which I'll get into shortly, but after spending some proper time shooting photos and video with it, I wanted to see if this lens actually lives up to the idea of being like a prime-like zoom. So in this video, I'm going to show you what it's like to shoot with, the kind of images that you can get from it, and whether a lens like this actually makes sense in the real world. Now, Sigma very kindly sent this lens out to me for a couple of weeks. I don't get to keep it, unfortunately, and they haven't asked me to say anything, so all of the thoughts in this video are entirely my own. The whole idea behind this lens is actually quite simple. Now, instead of giving you a huge zoom range, Sigma have focused on a very specific narrow range of 28-45mm. And that's interesting because these focal lengths basically cover three of the most popular prime lenses that photographers tend to use: the 28, the 35 and the 45mm. But instead of carrying three lenses, you get them all in one. They're all f1.8 and you just have to carry this around. So surely, for a lot of people, this could literally be the only lens they need, and it means that you get that shallow depth of field, the low light performance that you'd normally expect from prime lenses, but with the flexibility of a zoom lens. I mentioned that this was the world's first constant f1.8 aperture zoom lens, which is pretty incredible when you think about it, because most lenses tend to sit around f2.8, zoom lenses, sorry, tend to sit around f2.8 at the wide end. But the crazy thing is that even though this is a zoom lens, it is designed to deliver the image quality that you'd expect from prime lenses, which are traditionally known for being a lot sharper and just providing a superior image. And honestly, I think this lens challenges that idea quite a bit. And Sigma even came out and said when it was released that it surpasses the quality of the 24 and 50mm f1.4 Art prime lenses, which is absolutely insane. The first thing that you notice when you pick this lens up is that, like most Sigma lenses, it feels incredibly well built. It is part of Sigma's Art series, which just means that the build quality is incredible. It's like the top of the range, if you like. I've always been really impressed with Sigma lenses, no matter what series they're from, whether it's the art, contemporary, sport, and I've loved using them for years, and this one is no different. It feels solid. The zoom ring, the focus rings are really nice and smooth and well dampened, and everything about it just feels really well engineered. It is also weather sealed or dust and splash resistant. It's got a little weather sealing ring around the mount as well, which every lens should have, to be honest, but that's great if you're going to be filming outside a lot. And it's also got an aperture ring which can be clicked or declicked. I love the way that it sounds. It just sounds so, I don't know how you describe it, but it sounds great. But if you prefer controlling your aperture from the camera dials, you can do that as well. If you just set the aperture ring to A, you can then lock it in place so that you don't accidentally nudge it into changing your aperture with the ring, and you can change your aperture using the dials on the camera. And then there are also a couple of programmable buttons as well. So from a usability standpoint, it really does feel like a very professional tool. And one thing as well, it zooms internally as well, so that it doesn't protrude as you zoom in, which is really nice because it again helps with the weather sealing and dust getting into the lens, but it also helps with things like balancing on gimbals and things like that, if that's something you like to do. So getting onto the image quality, and honestly, It is just absolutely stunning. Even wide open at f1.8, this lens is incredibly sharp. I genuinely don't have many bad things to say about it at all. It is one of the sharpest lenses that I have ever used, if not the sharpest. The background separation looks incredible. There's nice smooth roll off, the contrast is great, and the images just have a really crisp, modern look, and I don't know what else to say about it. It is absolutely incredible. Now, naturally, when you stop it down to f4, f8, f11, this thing is just ridiculously sharp, and that's where most lenses are at their cleanest and perform their best, and this is just so good. I'm not into doing all of those tests where you look at image charts or take a photo of a brick wall just to see how well it performs. I just like to go out and use it in the real world, how I would use it on a day-to-day basis. And I've done that with both photo and video over the last couple of weeks, and the image has just genuinely blown me away. I absolutely love it. The autofocus is really quick. There's no built-in stabilization to the lens, but when you use it with Lumix cameras, the IBIS in those is so good, so you really don't need it. I used a gimbal for some running shots as well with Holly, and it is just so smooth. So no stabilization built into the lens is nothing that you need to worry about at all. Prime lenses have traditionally been known for having better image quality than zoom lenses, largely because they have fewer moving parts inside them, but modern zoom lenses have become so good that the difference is just getting smaller and smaller all of the time. And this is probably the first zoom lens that I've used where I genuinely thought that I might not ever need to use a prime lens anymore. I've been using this lens for a lot of my own photography over the last couple of weeks, including like landscapey type stuff, and it performs brilliantly. But where I think this lens would absolutely shine the most is with something like wedding photography or event photography, because it gives you that versatility of a zoom lens like we've already spoke about, but the advantages of fast primes that wedding photographers love, the shallow depth of field, great low light performance, and that's incredibly useful when you are shooting in darker venues, which a lot of weddings tend to be in. And this is where this lens really becomes interesting, because having an f1.8 aperture across an entire zoom range opens up creative possibilities that just don't exist with most zoom lenses, because you can shoot in lower light, you can get that shallower depth of field that you expect with prime lenses, and you still have the flexibility to adjust your framing, your composition, your compression without swapping lenses. And it's not just a really clever idea to have all of that in one lens, but in terms of the tech and the innovation that has gone into this, things that just go straight over my head that are way too clever for me to understand. This lens is so impressive. But it does bring me on to the next thing, the part that actually pains me a little bit to say, because as you can probably expect from watching this video, I genuinely love this lens. It's probably one of the most enjoyable lenses I have ever used. But I don't actually think it's for me. And the main reason for that is actually really simple, and it's just down to the fact that it is actually quite big and fairly heavy, even though it is a little bit lighter than you'd potentially expect with a lens this size. But because it has that constant f1.8 aperture, the lens naturally ends up being a bit bigger and heavier than most zoom lenses. Like, for example, the Lumix 24-60 f2.8, which I'm using right now to film this lens, is half the size, and it is so much lighter as well. If this lens was a 2.8 instead of a 1.8, it would probably end up being much smaller and lighter, and I'd probably buy it immediately, because this focal range is right in the middle of my sweet spot. But that kind of defeats the object of this lens if it was a 2.8 over a 1.8. That's not the idea behind it. But the reality is that I rarely shoot anything wide open, even at f2.8. It isn't something that I use that often. Most of the time, I'm shooting somewhere between f4, f8, f11. And for the kind of work that I do, landscapes, documentary photography, and filming myself for YouTube, I try to keep my gear as minimal and lightweight as I possibly can, especially since I'm usually working on my own most of the time. So while this lens is incredible, it's just a bit too big for the way that I work and the sorts of things that I do. And that really hurts me to say, because I don't think I've ever used a lens that I love as much as this one. If if you are a wedding photographer, an event photographer, or someone who shoots a lot in low light, for example, I would absolutely snap your hands off for this lens, because essentially having 3 primes in one lens would be incredibly useful for that sort of work. And you could genuinely probably shoot 80% of a wedding day with just this one lens, and then maybe pair it with something like an 85 or 100mm prime for the tighter shots, or maybe even a 70-200, and just go to a wedding with those 2 lenses, the 28-45 and the 70-200, and that would be an incredible combination for an entire day of wedding photography. And I think it would make shooting weddings and events so much easier, because you're not going to be frantically trying to swap lenses around as quick as you can so that you don't miss anything, because you just got 2 cameras, 2 lenses, and that is your entire setup. Yeah, that is the Sigma 28-45mm f1.8 Art. It is an absolutely brilliant lens, but I'm honestly quite conflicted about it in the best way possible, because creatively, it is probably my favourite lens that I've ever used. The images are stunning, the concept is brilliant, and every time that I went out to shoot with it, I genuinely enjoyed using it. But practically, for the way that I work, it just doesn't quite fit. And that makes me a little bit sad, because I really, really want one, and sending it back is gonna hurt a little bit, if I'm honest. I don't want to let it go. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think about this lens. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to watch another video about another one of my favourite Sigma lenses, I recommend you go and watch this video next. See you there.